Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 29 female, got engaged to my fiance, 31 male, earlier this year. A few days ago, his parents invited us over for dinner. It seemed like a normal get-together, but during dessert, his mom got up, went to the hall closet, and came back with a big white garment bag. She unzipped it and showed me her wedding dress from the 80s. Heavy satin, puffy sleeves, lace high neckline, huge train. Not my style at all. I didn't know what to say, and then she started talking about how she has always dreamed that her future daughter-in-law would wear it down the aisle. She said she wants me to wear her dress and also do my hair and makeup, just like she did on her wedding day. I was completely caught off guard. I said I appreciated the gesture, but I had already been browsing bridal shops and had a very different style in mind. Something simpler, cleaner, more modern. Mother-in-law didn't take it well. She looked shocked and kept saying things like, "It would mean the world to me." My father-in-law said it would be a slap in the face to reject such a sentimental offer. My fiancé sat there quietly and later said, "Maybe you could just do it. It's not that big of a deal." I told them I didn't want to wear someone else's dress and definitely not copy someone else's wedding look. It's my wedding. I want to do my own thing. I want it to feel like me. It got tense fast. All three of them were ganging up against me. I just said, "I'm not doing this," and I left. My fiancé called and freaked out. He says we need to do this and that it would make his mom happy. He said she cried after I left, that she already had the dress cleaned and altered. He's framing it like this is a family tradition, though as far as I know, she's the only one who's ever worn it. Now they're saying if I don't wear the dress, they won't attend the wedding. I feel like I'm being manipulated. It's never just one small thing. It was the venue. Same venue as his mom and dad too. The guest list and now this. It's starting to feel like their wedding, not mine. But now I'm wondering if I was too harsh or too quick to shut it down. Update. I didn't go through with the wedding. A few days after the dress dinner, his mom showed up at my apartment with a framed photo of her wedding day and said I should hang it up for inspiration. She tried to leave the dress on my couch when I wouldn't take it. That was it for me. I realized I was marrying into a whole lot of crazy, and my fiancé was never going to stand up to them. I called it off. I'm single now, no regrets. You made the right call, OP, and you dodged a bullet with this one. Your fiancé's mother was very manipulative. Her telling you it would mean a lot to her for you to wear her wedding dress and her crying afterwards like your rejection of the gesture was the end of the world shows that. It's okay for her to ask you if you want to wear her dress, but for her to insist that you must wear her wedding dress when it's your wedding is absurd. The fact that your fiancé and his father supported her on this was a huge red flag too, especially your fiancé. That clearly showed that if you did marry him, he would never have your back no matter what. You wouldn't just be marrying him, but his whole family too. I'm glad you realized that and broke things off. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for getting my son's phone turned off? My son is 17 and lives with my ex-wife for over a year. He has refused to speak with me because he doesn't like my girlfriend. The only connection I had with him was paying $30 a month for his phone bill. I saw him at the store the other day and tried to talk to him, but he told me to go F myself. He should be grateful I paid for his phone and decided to get it shut off since he doesn't deserve it. The next day when my ex asked if I had stopped paying on it, I said that I had shut it off and she flipped out on me. I have done nothing but be a good father to him. And the way I see it, if he's going to talk to me like that, then he doesn't deserve a phone. I also found out he had my number blocked on his phone. Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole, OP, and you're not behaving or sounding like a parent. People say being a parent is a thankless job, so even if your son wants nothing to do with you, you should still provide for him and show him that you care regardless. Not paying his phone bill and shutting it down was not the right thing to do in this situation. You should have found a way to talk to him and ask him why he wants nothing to do with you. I hope you can find a way to build a relationship with your son instead of being angry at him. Now for some comments. Did you at least give his mom a warning that you were shutting off his phone? What if he was left stranded somewhere because his phone suddenly stopped working? You didn't think of what is required for safety purposes. Perhaps you should have told his mom what happened and then warned that you would have his phone shut off when he turned 18. You shouldn't just react based on emotions to your son's emotions. You need to be the bigger person and provide regardless of what he says to you. You're the a-hole. You're the a-hole, dumbass. Everyone else's comments here say more than I could, but for what it's worth, my mom pulled something pretty similar to what you just did. She insisted I switch from her plan to my stepmom's plan with no warning right before I was set to head off to college. Ended up being a nightmare with a half-dozen-hour-long trips to the Verizon store, SIM card issues and more. In the end, I had to change my phone number, so to try and teach my mom a lesson, I waited a month before I gave her my new number. Hope your son does the same. You're the a-hole. The post is firstly incomplete because you didn't say why your ex-wife was mad you shut the phone off. However, I can take a pretty good gander at it. It's a safe thing. Do you even pay child support? It is required by law in most places for a parent who does not have custody of a minor child to pay child support. $30 a month for his phone bill does not equal appropriate child support for a 17-year-old boy. He should be grateful I pay his phone bill. No, you should be grateful you aren't paying hundreds of dollars a month in child support. If I was your ex-wife, I would take you to court for back child support. Most places will make you pay even after the kid turns 18. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for expressing my delight at my son and his family moving closer to home? I am a mama in my early 60s with 6 kids living on Long Island. My husband was a pretty savvy investor, and when he died, he left me with enough money that after a lifetime of scrapping by and sacrificing, I now never have to worry about money or working again. I live modestly despite my security, so I made an offer to all of my kids when they got married. If you move to Long Island and live close to me, I'll give you the down payment for a normal family home. Only 2 of my children accepted my offer. My son Alec married Maggie about 5 years ago. Maggie grew up in Flushing, Queens. I made them the same offer I made my other kids about the house. They wanted to live in the city. When my first grandchild was born, I reiterated the offer and got declined. They subsequently had 3 more kids. After each was born, I made the offer again. I also usually make the offer once a year just to remind them it's still valid. Over the years, I've had many conversations with Maggie about living on Long Island, trying to impress her with the virtues of living in our hometown, family, community, wide open green spaces for the kids, not to mention the beaches right down the road. She is a city girl through and through and said she couldn't see herself being happy in the suburbs. She and I have never really connected, but we respect each other. Whenever my grandkids come for a visit, they talk about how much they love it here. I've mentioned this to her on many occasions, not baiting her, just telling her, "Hey, your kids really love it out here. Just keep that in mind." Recently, they decided to move out here for 1 year as a test to see if they're happy. I won't lie and say I wasn't excited. They didn't ask me for the money I've offered in the past. They bought a small house and have been renovating it and asked that no one visit until the house was done. It's finally done and I was invited over for a tour. My daughter-in-law was fixing dinner and telling me about how she had gotten a new job in town. She finally had time for PTA. She had found a really nice public library for the kids. I was happy and said, "See, didn't I tell you you would like it if you just gave it a try?" The mood sort of changed and my daughter-in-law said, "We didn't move out here because you kept telling us to. This was always part of our plan." Later I asked my son what the deal was. He said Maggie feels like I was gloating because they finally moved out here, especially after how many times I've suggested they do so. My son has made it no secret he wanted to move back home but was staying in the city for his wife. He explained to me that they had an agreement. They would live where Maggie wanted for a period of time and then they would live where Alec wanted for a period of time. Apparently, it was just finally my son's turn to choose where they live. Alex says Maggie feels I've been very pushy and that I gloated when I finally got my way. Am I this a-hole for what I said? Now for some comments. Soft, you're the a-hole. A lot of what you're describing is a little overbearing and manipulative behavior, offering to help with a down payment on a house wherever your kids would be happy, instead of what makes you happy, would be a kind and loving gesture. There is nothing wrong at all with wanting your family closer to you. That's beautiful. But the way you're going about it could be pushing some of them away more than you realize and causing problems in their marriage. Soft, you're the a-hole. I understand your intent, but that was an extremely poor way of expressing it, especially since I personally read your, "Hey, your kids really love it out here, just keep that in mind," anecdote, as well as a yearly reminder of a financial incentive to do what you want them to do, as a very passive-aggressive. So I do think that much of a reaction was due to much more than just the face of the comment as well. On the upside, your family is closer now and you have an opportunity to hopefully talk to, understand, and improve your relationship with your daughter-in-law. I wish you all the best. You're the a-hole, even before the gloating, constantly pushing the daughter-in-law to move, more than once a year, because it sounds like in between the once-a-year offer of a down payment she mentioned moving whenever they came to visit, is rude, divisive, and pushy. My husband and I are from opposite areas of the country. Both sets of our parents and siblings would like us to live near them, but none of them push for it like she did. They understand that we have to make the best decision for ourselves, and they don't try to interfere with our marriage. What she did has likely added strife to their marriage and made the daughter-in-law upset for years.